Day 2 of this lesson is to solve logarithmic equations. And log equations, of course, they involve logarithms of variables or variable expressions. Okay? And the property of equality for logarithmic equations is so much like that for exponential equations. If those are positive numbers, and remember your base can't be 1, it doesn't make sense to have 1 raised to a power. Okay, then the logarithms are equal, they have equal bases, only if those numbers they're taking the logarithms are equal. And I think all of you would say, well, yeah, that makes sense. So let's dig right in. Quite simple one. These are the kind you hope all of them are going to be. Sorry to break your hearts, it's not going to happen. These both have log base 6. So the expressions would simply be set equal, and you would go to work solving that. So to solve that, I'd subtract 3x from both sides and add 4, and you do it in one step, not two, and then you divide. Please remember to check. Okay, we're going to talk about extraneous solutions here in another slide or two, but please remember to check. So when we put 3 back in, we'd have the log base 6 of 11, and on the other side, we'd have the log base 6, 15 minus 4 again is 11. So you always want to check that. Okay. The logarithmic equations you'll probably see more of has the logarithm on just one side or has a number that is not in a logarithm. Then you need to rewrite it as an exponential. So remember, a logarithm is an exponent for your base. So 4 to the third would equal the 5x plus 4. Okay, 4 to the third, you can grab your calculator and check up on me, but I'm pretty sure it's 64. So if you subtract 4 from both sides, you get 5x equals 60, so x equals 12. And again, go ahead and check that. This would be 64. The log base 4 of 64 indeed is 3. Okay, second example, much the same. I would go x minus 6 equals 2 to the 5th. So x minus 6, I'm pretty sure that's 32. Add 6 to both sides. And when you put 38 in for x, you're going to have the log of 32. Okay. Here's what we are talking about, the extraneous solutions. Remember what the graph of a logarithmic equation or logarithmic function looks like. It's something like this, where the y-axis is the vertical asymptote. So that tells you that x has to be greater than 0. Okay? So that's what this is saying. The domain does not include all real numbers because you could not take the logarithm of 0 or a negative number. So always remember to check for extraneous solutions. Those other two were linear, probably not a worry. Okay, remember if there's no base written, this should be base 10. But I want you to realize that, and I'm not going to always put it in because I want you to remember. Okay, what do you do when there's a plus? Think back to the previous lesson where we talked about the properties. The properties would say, well, that means you were multiplying those things in the logarithms. Okay? So when I rewrite this as an exponential, because this side doesn't have a logarithm of it, I'm going to have 5x squared minus 5x equals 10 to the 2, or 100. Okay, so 5x squared minus 5x minus 100 equals 0. I had to do that because it is a quadratic. Remember, with quadratics, you need to factor or use quadratic formula. But in either case, you need to have it set equal to 0. If I take out the greatest common factor, 5, then I get something that's a lot easier for me to factor. 5 isn't going to equal 0. I'm going to disregard that. Okay? X times x gives me x squared. What multiplies to give me negative 20 and adds to give me negative 1? Remember, there's an understood coefficient of 1. Well, I think you'll agree it's got to be negative 5 and positive 4. So this gives us x equals 5 or negative 4. Now let's check to make sure we're not taking the logarithm of 0 or a negative. So if I put negative 4 in, oops, right away I'm taking the logarithm of negative 20, and here I'd be taking the logarithm of negative 5. Whereas if I put in positive 5, this would be 25, and this would be 4, and that's going to work. So I can disregard the negative 4, and x is only 5 for this one. So nice when it works out. Of course, these are contrived, so they do work out. When you're moving along in science and you have to do logarithms, you're probably going to get a lot of decimals. So, all right, again, we've got the 3 that is not used in a logarithmic expression. We got to rewrite this as an exponential, and I'm going to do both at the same time. So the property of logarithm for plus means you're multiplying, and then I'm going to rewrite this as 4 to the power 3. And I'm going to use my distributive property. 4 cubed is 64. I'll bring it over right away. So I skipped a couple steps. Go ahead and take time to write that down if you need to. Okay, maybe all you have to do is say, well, 4 cubed equals 64, and then I know what I did to get that. Okay, factor again. Product is 64, and I think that's going to be 16 times 4. Go ahead and check it. It's like a positive 16 and a negative 4. Zero product property is what tells us that x is either negative 16 or positive 4. Well, as soon as we try the negative 16, I'm going to be taking the logarithm of a negative 4. It's not going to work. So this one gets eliminated. But the 4 does work, because then I'm taking the log of 16 and the log of 4. Well, works. So x is 4 for that one. Okay. All right. These are kind of nice. I like these. They make so much more sense. We're going to be also looking at doubling in some applications. How long does it take money to double at different rates and so on? So it's kind of fun. All right, so you already have the equation given, and that's common in physics. They give you the equation and you put your numbers in. Okay, this one happens to be for the game and fish department. So they're saying, okay, we got a population of deer in a forest preserve, and we feed them, and they are just going places. They're booming. So they're asking, when will the population reach 500? By the way, then they're going to open the gates and let the wolves in, so you don't have to worry. So when we do this, put the 500 in for the population, you only have one unknown. Okay, so when we subtract 50, we'll have 450 equals 200 times that natural log. Okay, when we divide, I believe it's 2.25. I'll do it again. Yep. Okay, now this side has a logarithm, this side does not. So I have to use that e to get rid of that natural log here on the right-hand side. Okay, so when I take the e to the 2.25, I get about 9.49. It's 9.4877. It keeps going. Okay, and then all I'd have to do is subtract 1. So the time they're talking about is 8.48 years, 8.49 years. Okay, so sometime in the 8th to 9th year, they're going to say, okay, our population is going to reach 500. And that's when we would have to do something about the population. That's getting to be too many for the preserve, even when we feed them. And then they would let the wolves in or the bears in, or they'd open the gates and let them out, or whatever. Maybe they'd really be nice and let hunters come. Okay, so there was some exponential equation examples, not too long of a video. Remember, you can rewatch it, you can ask me questions, you can search on YouTube for other logarithmic equation videos. Go through the book. You guys are getting really good at this. I probably don't have to say this every so often. Enjoy your lesson. This is the last one of the chapter.